Welcome to the Penn Medicine Hospice Annual Service of Remembrance. Each year we join with you to remember our loved ones who have died this past year. Today, as we pause to remember those we have cared for this past year, we also want to acknowledge Veterans Day and pause to acknowledge those Americans who have served our country and protected our freedom throughout the years. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of the Great War in 1918, a peace agreement between the Allied nations and Germany was commemorated to seek peaceful relationships between one another as the end of the war to end all wars, in hopes that we would never again be divided. Unfortunately, we know this was not the case. Every November 11th, Veterans Day continues to be observed, regardless of the day of the week on which it falls. The restoration of the observance of Veterans Day to November 11th not only preserves the historical significance of the date, but helps focus attention on the important purpose of Veterans Day, a celebration to honor American veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. Penn Medicine has recently joined forces with the Warrior Canine Connection, and I would like to introduce you to a service dog from WCC named Dolly. This program fulfills a time-honored military tradition of warriors helping warriors, creating a supportive culture of care for our veterans. On this November 11th, we pause to thank them all for their service and love of country as we remember them.
Today, we join together to honor the memories of those we have lost. They will be in our hearts forever. Today is Veterans Day, and in addition to our loved ones, we also honor the veterans who have given so much of themselves to protect our freedom. I've been a hospice doctor for many years, and it's been a privilege and a pleasure to work with patients and families during their most challenging times. This year, I had the opportunity to walk in your shoes. I lost someone dear to me, and during her time of greatest need, I got to see just how much the comfort our hospice team provides means to patients and families facing the end of life. I applaud you for your strength and courage and your willingness to be there when it meant the most. I would like to share a short poem that captures the spirit of our hospice families. When a storm is coming, all other birds seek shelter. The eagle alone avoids the storm by flying above it. So in the storms of life, may your heart soar like an eagle. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope this service of remembrance helps bring you peace.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Penn Medicine's annual service of remembrance. Hospice teams throughout the region from Princeton, New Jersey to Chester County, Pennsylvania, have come together to remember your loved one. My name is Stephanie Wilson, and I am the manager of psychosocial services at Penn Medicine Hospice. This year, we are pre-recording our service at the beautiful St. Raffaella Center here in Haverford, PA.
My name is Erin Fida, and I am the Psychosocial Hospice Practice Specialist. And during the service today, we would like to encourage you to have a candle or an item of significance. Small things can mean so much when we are challenged by grief. We also welcome you to use the chat throughout the program to acknowledge your loved one, send messages, and to join in this community that has come together this afternoon as we remember them.
In times of distress, nature can offer us comfort, respite, and gentle, quiet wisdom. During our time together, we will reflect on these themes through poetry, music, and a ritual for the planting and dedication of our memorial tree, honoring the patients that have died under our care.
Thank you so much for being here today with us virtually. Next, we will read We Remember Them. Please feel free to follow along as the poem is located on the left side of your invitation.
At the rising sun and its going down, we remember them.
At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them.
At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them.
At the blueness of the sky and the warmth of summer, we remember them.
At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of the autumn, we remember them.
At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them.
As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them.
When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them.
When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them.
When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them.
When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them.
When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them.
For as long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them.
Death is nothing at all. I've only slipped away into the next room. I am I, and you are you.
Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way you always used.
Put no difference into your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed, at the little jokes we always enjoy together.
Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effort, without the ghost of a shadow in it.
Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is absolute, unbroken continuity.
What is death but a negligible accident? Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am waiting for you, an interval somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well. Nothing is past. Nothing is lost. One brief moment, and it will all be as it was before.
How we shall laugh at the trouble of parting when we meet again.
Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Foster, and I am the Hospice System Director for Penn Medicine. It is my honor and pleasure to be with you today. This is a time to share our stories and support one another. Your hospice team cares deeply about you and your loved ones. They share your grief, and they are here, albeit virtually, to continue to support you. I receive many cards, emails, and letters about this hospice team and the outstanding interdisciplinary care they provide. I'm glad they made a difference in your life. Another difficult year is behind us. Many of you have experienced unimaginable loss among the turmoil present in today's world. When we are faced with tragedy, gale force grief fools us into thinking no one has ever felt this way. You are not alone. When you are grieving, certain times of the year that used to be filled with joy and celebration are now difficult to face. Sadness threatens to take away joy, happiness, and engagement with others. You are not alone. One family member described her grief as like being a leaf floating down from a tall tree and landing in a river. The leaf is carried along, not following a path, but rather moving with the current, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes through turbulence, and sometimes barely moving. You are not alone. I'll leave you with a reading by Thich Nhat Hanh to consider. As you walk, be fully aware of your foot, the ground, and the connection between them, which is your conscious breathing. People say that walking on water is a miracle, but to me, walking peacefully on earth is the real miracle. Earth is a miracle. Each step is a miracle. Taking steps on our beautiful planet can bring real happiness. I wish you peace in your journey ahead, and remember, you are not alone.
When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder. Lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants slumber after safety.
When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil into silence, their senses eroded beyond fear.
When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile.
We breathe briefly. Our eyes briefly see with a hurtful clarity.
Our memory, suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised walks never taken.
Great souls die, and a reality bound to them takes leave of us. Our souls, dependent upon their nature, now shrink, wizened.
Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away.
We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark, cold caves.
And when great souls die, and after a period peace blooms, slowly and always irregularly, spaces fill with kind and soothing electric vibration.
Our senses restored, never to be the same. Whisper to us. They existed.
They existed.
We can be and be better, for they existed.
We would like to take the opportunity to honor our young grievers. As Alan Walford states, if you are old enough to love, you are old enough to grieve. Rituals and memorials are as important to children as well as adults. Being in nature to honor our loved ones is a grounding experience that connects us to the circle and cycle of life. Shinrin-yoku, also known as forest bathing, is the Japanese process of focusing on sensory engagement and connections to nature. When we are with the earth, we can be mindful of our space and time and with our environment. Memorial stones are part of many cultures. It is Jewish tradition to leave a stone on the grave of a loved one when visiting. The Hebrew word for pebble is suzur,
and it happens that this Hebrew word also means bond. By placing the stone, we show that we have been there and that the individual's memory continues to live in and through us. Today, we have one of our young grievers and her father here at our ceremony. Eric will share a reading that has meaning to his family, and we will then follow that with the placing of a memorial stones under the tree.
The reading I've chosen today was very important to both my wife Laura and I. It was read at our wedding, but the deeper meaning comes from one of our favorite stories, The Princess Bride. We both considered it not only a favorite movie, but for Laura, a favorite book. The inscription on our wedding bands reflects Wesley's famous declaration of love for Buttercup, "As you wish." This is a story that I will pass on to Clara, in memory of her mother, and will share with you now. "You love me, Wesley, is that it?" He couldn't believe it. "Do I love you? My God, if you were a grain of sand, mine would be a universe of beaches. I have stayed these years in my hovel. Because of you, I have taught myself languages. Because of you, I have made my body strong. I thought you might be pleased by a strong body. I have lived my life with only the prayer that sudden dawn you might glance in my direction. I have not known a moment in years when the sight of you did not send my heart careening against my rib cage. I have not known a night when your visage did not accompany me to sleep. There has not been a morning when you did not flutter behind my walking eyelids. Is any of this getting through to you, Buttercup? Or do you want me to go on for a while? Never stop. I love you, okay? Want it louder? I love you. Spell it out, should I? I LOVEYOU. Want it backward? You love I. I've been saying it so long to you, you just wouldn't listen. Every time you said, farm boy, do this, you thought I was answering, as you wish. But that's only because you were hearing wrong. I love you was what it was, but you never heard, and you never heard. Now, Clara and I will put a stone decorated to remember her mom and place it under a tree in ceremony in honor of all the young grievers who have had someone they love die this year.
In our ritual today, we will honor the legacy of those whom we are remembering by dedicating and planting a tree in their honor. This tree is both symbolic and physical representation of the history and the life we have shared with those who have died.
Trees hold a special place in our lives and in this world. They're a pivotal part of the ecosystem, and they support our daily sustenance. They provide shade from the hot noon sun and gentle cover from the rain. Trees have a unique ability to transform toxic gases into clean air that sustains all life on our planet.
Their barks provide for our abodes and oftentimes are fashioned and formed into our dining room tables, where feasts of celebration create everlasting memories. The fruit trees nourish our bodies. Their unseen labor produces flavors of delight. The mighty oaks are where the birds of the air and creatures of the earth find solace and protection. The older trees, slightly off the beaten path, hold the memory of lovers, their trunk bearing the masterpiece of their carved initials connected by a heart. In parks and backyards, children swing from and scurry up the giant maples while shouts of delight echo through their branches and tickle their leaves.
Tree roots burrow deep into the ground, while the body of the tree grows upward, its leaves always reaching for the sun. Their canopy delights the eye when in fall their leaves change colors and fall into our driveways, sidewalks, yards, and parks. Their stark outline of the shape during the winter months reminds us to stand tall, and that even in times of cold winds and short days, there is life and growth still taking place. And when the magnolia trees of spring show off their vibrant colors, filling the air with their sweet aroma, we're reminded of the cyclical rhythms of life and the beauty that comes after a long, cold winter.
In many ways, the lives of our loved ones bear the characteristics and nature of trees. Our loved ones provide us nourishment, solace, shelter, safety, comfort, joy, and hope in the difficult season. They too bear the imprint of our love. In some traditional burials, the shoveling of dirt onto the grave represents an ending of a life. As we remember them, we will shovel dirt to secure the tree so it can take its place in the world. Today, this act of shoveling dirt signifies a new beginning.
We will then water the tree communally. The water comes from the earth in various forms: rain, sleet, snow. But in the dry seasons, the caretaker of the grounds at St. Raphaela's will provide water and nutrients for the tree. So too, like our grief, the universe cares for us in many capacities. But in seasons of drought, we can help to take care of one another.
May this tree be a living legacy of the lives of those we have lost.
May its growth and lifespan far exceed ours as we tend to its growth and maturity. May this tree remind us of the regenerative power of love, which never dies but lives on.
May this tree remind us of the collective nature of our grief and stand as a testament to the vitality, resiliency, and bonds that we have with those who have departed and with each other.
May clarity find you and enlighten you. May flow and ease return as often as they might vanish. May warmth and energy sustain your efforts. And may you know yourself supported and loved by all that you experience as holy, in sorrow as in joy.
Love never fades. It never goes away. Though my body is not here, my love for you is strong. Like this tree, it grows bigger and stronger, each memory keeping me alive in the area of your heart. Love never fades. It will never go away. Silently, I walk beside you, watching our tree grow.
Thank you so much for joining us today as we remembered them. We thank you for the messages in the chat and for bearing witness to our tree dedication ceremony. We encourage you to contact St. Raphaela's Center and visit our memorial tree and continue to bear witness to its growth and beauty as time goes by. We invite you to sit under its branches and watch the birds fly. Perhaps one day you'll see a cardinal or a common sparrow singing to the morning sun. This is now a place that holds our grief, but also holds the opportunities of new life and growth.
As we entered your homes and cared for your loved ones, you have taught us the meaning of strength. We thank you for allowing us the privilege of doing so and for the imprint on our hearts that you have made. As we move forward into the upcoming holiday season, please know we are here for you. If you are struggling with grief, we encourage you to call in and talk to one of our bereavement counselors. On behalf of the staff here at Penn Medicine, we thank you for spending this time with us, and we wish you peace and comfort in the days to come.
And before we say goodbye for now, on behalf of the staff, I would like to share this short poem with you called I Will. As long as I can, I will look at the world for both of us. As long as I can, I will sing with the birds. I will laugh with the flowers. I will pray to the stars for both of us.
When I look outside, the sky is always changing. Sometimes there is light, sometimes it is raining. But when I'm remembering you, the raindrops mix with sunlight and a rainbow is coming through. When I look inside, I am always changing. Sometimes I am light, sometimes I am rainy. But when I'm remembering you, my raindrops mix with sunlight and a rainbow is coming through.